While many have claimed to foresee what horrors lie ahead, no one has seen them more clearly than the world's most famous prophet.
Happens, Slaf gets 30 or Cole gets 50?
Both, so should be good.
Thanks, Nick. Have a good one.
What a game tonight. Montreal, Tampa Bay. A game that could be Series 1 in the upcoming playoffs. We get a little sample of what that could look like tonight. And did I like what I saw? Let's talk about it.
The question is now you can move on with the rest of your life and career. It's almost...
You guys too.
Another patented 4-point game for the Montreal Canadiens. Division rivals, somebody that they could face in the upcoming playoffs. This is a statement game, and it's got it written all over it. Suzuki chasing down 100 points. Caufield on the cusp of 50. Slafkovsky, almost 30 goals. 29 goals, right? Looking for 30. What does this game have in store for the Montreal Canadiens, and what does this game have in store for us, the fans? We'll get to it, but first, if you're into hockey cards, sports cards, or just collecting in general, you definitely need to check out Slab Sharks. They've got singles, slabs.
Wow, so a question about controlling the game.
Sealed products, memorabilia. So whether you're chasing a grail or casually doing damage to your wallet, they've got you covered. They've also got their own app, which makes it super easy to submit your own cards, watch your auctions, and track your sales from cards that aren't part of your PC and are just collecting dust. And honestly, it's a great time to jump in right now because their major Apex auction starts May 4th, and there's going to be some seriously cool stuff in there. They're also currently offering 90% payout on Matthew Schaefer Young Guns, which is kind of insane. So if you want to support the channel, check out Slab Sharks using the link in the description below. Download the app and see what they've got. And if you got a ridiculous card to sell, tell me about it. Thanks as always to Slab Sharks for sponsoring the video. Now getting right back into it, we have some news. We can talk about the lineup tonight, and it's pretty darn interesting. So, qu'est-ce qu'arrive avec la formation de départ ce soir? Nos attaquants, our forwards, Caufield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Texier, Kapanen, Demidov, Newhook, Deneau, Doc, Veleno, Evans, Anderson. Okay, Texier, Veleno. So that means Bolduc is out and Gallagher is still out. It's cool to see them play with this amount of depth. And honestly, they're really just getting started. No défenseurs or defensemen. We have Matheson, Dobson, Struble, Hudson, Xhekaj, and Engstrom. Yeah, Gouli is still not back. He skated today in practice. I think he was in non-contact. Correct me if I'm wrong. No gardien or goalies. Dobesh has taken the net. Fowler backing him up. So you knew the pace of the game would be set almost immediately, and it was. They dropped the puck on this one. Deneau is the one to set the physical tone that we become familiar with for the rest of this game. Montreal is pressuring. They're getting zone time, but Struble gets smacked in the face. Opened him up pretty bad. He'd be bleeding for the rest of the game. That's going to be a 4-minute double minor. Not a bad way for Montreal to start it off. A bunch of offensive zone pressure and then take to the 4-minute power play. And then on the power play, they knock at the door. They put 6 shots on goal. Caufield is looming, but they can't get there. Vasilevsky comes up big. Montreal continued to make a statement by holding Tampa to 0 shots and taking the Lions' share of zone time. But the first shot for Tampa finally does come, and Dobesh has to be sharp. It's a turnover, and there's a little bit of a dust-up after that shot. Now, Xhekaj is going to get baited by Corey Perry. He's going to go to the box for that. Perry does get his greasy little mitts all over this game, but he'll get his comeuppance. Montreal did, in fact, kill that penalty off, and Suzuki even gets a good chance right at the end of it. Now, Ivan Demidov is going to get his stick into Carlisle's face. So, Montreal is going to head back to the PK. They do kill that one as well, and as the power play is expiring, Kucherov is trying to leave the ice. Anderson gives him some grief. He slashes Anderson. Tampa tries to separate Anderson from Kucherov, who continues to goad Kucherov. This is only ramping up the temperature of the game, and it even gets worse. Now Slaf steals the puck. It gets in front to Suzuki, who puts it off the inside of the post. And then the puck goes back the other way. Struble puts his head down, strides to the defensive zone to make a big defensive play as his partner Hudson was losing a step on his opponent here. Lots of good defensive plays tonight by the Montreal Canadiens, I am very happy to say. And now with 6 seconds left of the first period, Slafkovsky barred down, but out. We're headed to the second period scoreless, but what a period. Montreal outshot Tampa. They outplayed them. They were more physical, all of the above. So we're headed to the second period. Montreal already spending a lot of time in the Tampa zone. And now we're going to get our first big dust up after the play is whistled down. Veleno and Dassus throwing fists. And behind the scrum, Perry is jawing off to Hudson. This becomes a little bit of a storyline. So in a twist of fate, the worm is out, but this time he's on Tampa instead of Montreal. It's flipped. I gotta mention something that I love. Evans always manages to get in these scrums. Doesn't really add anything to it, but he's in there. Montreal somehow comes out of this on the penalty kill. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but Marty seems to be completely all right with the call. Montreal manages to easily kill that power play as well. Tampa is now 0 for 3. You figure with all this back and forth, somebody is finally going to strike. Who's it going to be?
Suzuki.
We have a 50-goal scorer in Montreal. Cole Caufield makes it 1-0 off the backs of his teammates Juraj Slafkovsky and Nicholas Masaru James Suzuki. Paul Caufield is loving it, so proud of his son. Prime Minister Mark Carney has crossed the floor from Edmonton to Montreal. The house is on fire, the audience is erupting. What a spectacular moment for the Montreal Canadiens. What a spectacular moment for Cole Caufield. 7th Montreal Canadien in history to score 50 goals. We're witnessing history, but we get right back into it. Look at this hard forecheck from Veleno. This leads to sustained zone time. This guy's growing on me, man. With Evans and Anderson, this is like Armia never left. Except Armia scored more often and got more assists and shorthanded goals. And anyway, now we see Texier set up in front. He misses a tip in. Oof, this would have really given me some relief because it feels like this is a one-shot game, but I'd be wrong. This is a 2-shot game. Now, Arber Xhekaj sends a 99-mile-per-hour shot right into Girgenson's thigh, maybe his calf. Girgensson manages to limp to the bench, but youch, that's got to sting. We get some more rough stuff, and Perry is trying to intimidate Lane Hutson here. The first line doesn't recognize that this is happening. And when they finally do, Suzuki tries to separate Perry from Hutson. But this is just Perry playing his game. And if he thinks no one is realizing, well, Xhekaj has been watching from the bench. Montreal goes on the power play from this one. Will they finally strike on the power play? We cut to commercial break. We come back. Arber Xhekaj is having a conversation with Corey Perry. He's telling him, I don't want to ruin your night, but I'm going to have to ruin your night. On the power play, Newhook gets a great chance, but the puck gets to him just too slowly. And if you're waiting for a real fight to happen, it does. Except it's Josh Anderson and Carlisle.
On the play, gloves are off Anderson, and he's dropping him here with Declan.
Poor Carlisle. He had to fight his way up into the lineup, and I'm afraid he might have just fought himself out of the lineup as he picks up the instigator on this one. Sends Montreal back to the power play. I guess this is probably a response to what Anderson's been doing to Kucherov all night. Montreal does not do anything on that power play. You can't buy a goal right now in this game. But now Braden Point is trying to buy a goal. Instead, he rams into Dobesh. So guess what happens? Yeah, they're going to have to take out the notepad again. So Montreal is going to go on the power play once again. Evans and Texier both get minors. They're sent off. I think this could have been a 3-man advantage, honestly, but Texier and Evans need to even it out, I guess. All they really did was get punched, so I don't really get this one. On the power play, I think Dobson gets the only shot on goal on this one, unfortunately. Yeah, the power play is just, it's not going to work tonight. That's the end of the second period. Wow, just continues to be a wild game, very entertaining game. We hop into the third period. Who's going to put the next one in? Well, we see Anderson steal the puck, gets it to Texier. Kapanen gets all of it that he wants, but Vasilevsky makes an amazing save. Now Corey Perry is all alone in front, but Dobesh gets a piece of it, and it goes high. This has been a real statement game for not only the Montreal Canadiens, but Arber Xhekaj, who has been playing wonderfully, a heavy physical game, and he's moving the puck really well. I thought this was weird. I thought I'd mention it. Anderson gets a high stick, but there's no call on this one. This is a very obvious high stick. And why are the refs putting away their whistle now? They need to manage this game because it could get out of hand. Now we see Matheson with a big stick to avoid a backdoor tap in. Tampa with the puck, they lose it at the line. and this turns into a 3-on-1 for Suzuki, Slaf, and Caufield. But Vasilevsky somehow walks away the winner of this one. Still in the third period, Xhekaj finally gets Perry in the corner. He's having a little conversation with him, but look who doesn't want to protest too much anymore. The Worm, as he worms his way out of this face wash. Now heads up, Cernak gets his stick on Matheson's pass. The puck is turned over, but what a block by the NHL's leading shot blocker, Noah Dobson. You don't trade a guy like Noah Dobson. I thought I'd highlight this cool lady who represents a lot of the fans right now. Tampa Bay is pressing. They're realizing the clock is running out, and Kucherov gets the puck with an open net. Somehow, he can't find the twine. Sends the puck way over the net. Game remains 1-0 for the Canadiens. As time continues to wind down, Vasilevsky looks like he's inching his way towards the bench. He finally does, and Montreal needs to lock it down now. They need to play as tight as they can. But can they hold on?
Up top, one-timer, score! A rock!
Montreal, too concerned with the puck in the corner. It gets to Kucherov, who feeds it in front for Radish, and he celebrates like he just scored his 60th goal. So that's very deflating. You wish Montreal would have sealed the deal there. Time to sweat it out in overtime, but as Habs fans, we are used to it.
He was the hero late in the game to tie the game back on Tuesday, Nick Suzuki. Suzuki, the steal, in front, score!
Never mind, it won't take overtime. Slafkovsky. I mean, this happens because of Suzuki, who's just so hard to play against. He steals the puck behind the net. Slaf gets in front and immediately receives the pass from Suzuki. Slafkovsky becomes the first Slovak to net 30 goals since Hossa in 2013-2014, I think they said. I know that Slafkovsky sets his goals really high, but I hope that this scratched his back this season. It's really validating as a Montreal Canadiens fan to finally see Slafkovsky reach all these different pinnacles. 70 points as well, by the way, 71 points. Yeah, for so long we had to hear, oh wow, terrible draft. Montreal got the crumbs. They should have picked Cooley, so on and so forth. Anyway, it's 2-1. Montreal just needs to hang on for whatever, a minute left. And they do. That's the game, baby. What a statement win. And I have completely changed my mind. I no longer want to see Montreal versus Boston, although I think that series would be incredible as well. I got to see Montreal and Tampa. It would be so electrifying if this is just a sample of what we could see. But also, I think Montreal is perfectly set to beat Tampa in a Series 1 matchup. A few games like this, wearing Tampa Bay down over time, you know, maybe John Cooper can pull some magic and win a couple of games. But yeah, I would like to test it. I'd like to see it. Big stars tonight. Obviously, Caufield came up huge. Suzuki, Slafkovsky. The number one guys did what the number one guys should do, and Dobesh, man, he continues to look so solid in net, only allowing one goal. That, to me, is stealing a game. When you talk about Montreal and their ability to score, they only scored 2 tonight, but it's against Vasilevsky, one of the best goaltenders in the league. And then on the reverse, Tampa Bay is, I think, 3rd in the NHL for scoring, and he only allowed that one goal. Hey, that's big time, man. Montreal is a contending team. I'm so excited for the playoffs. Tell me your thoughts. Comment below. Tell me how you're doing. Just leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. But that's going to do it for me. You guys know what to do. Like the video. Helps me out with, I don't know, search results or something. Subscribe. I'd love to have you as part of this community. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.
Allez, snack,